All right, welcome in to episode 18 on StreamYard. This will be our first episode on the StreamYard platform, so hopefully future episodes will be on this platform. We do enjoy doing this on StreamYard. We've had some technical difficulties in the past, but luckily we are back into it. I'm Matthew Wagner. With always is my boy Trey Williams, and today we'll be going over some Super Bowl preview, some AFC, NFC, what we saw in the matchups, and then some extra other stuff that we decided to talk about based on how we feel.
Cowboys
But
stuff that we
yep,
had unfortunate.
always. And but I just received a report. Unfortunately, there were no survivors because of the DC plane crash. So our heartfelt condolences go out to the victims affected, and we hope that everyone can heal from this tragedy. This loss of life is just nothing that you ever want to see and ever want to experience as a person. So, heartfelt apologies to all the victims and affected, and our sincere condolences. But, and then kind of to track onto the more bad news, Justin Tucker has been accused of indecent sexual. The way they're describing this is it's not like sexual assault, but it's not like indecent exposure. Yeah, it's not indecent exposure, but it's not sexual assault. So I can't really tell you what it equals, but I do know he is in some trouble if any of the
Allegations are
allegations
true.
are. Yes, and
And
so
what we saw, he might be cooked like a
yes,
scrambled egg on a Sunday afternoon.
yes, and
He
he
might
he is
he might be
taking
gone.
he's taking the Deshaun Watson route for sure.
He
And
probably might get traded to the Cleveland Browns. Be like, oh,
3 first-round
yeah,
picks. Give that man 3 first-round picks. Literally.
And that's like it happened in 2021. There was a tweet. Someone tweeted out about Justin Tucker being like weird from like massage like to massagers.
I
I
can't.
was like,
I
it happened in
That's why.
2021.
That's why whenever so you know how people go on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and they voice their quote unquote political opinion or their opinion on stuff, and that's why whenever I post stuff, I only post about either what I'm doing on my job or what I'm doing. Like I'll like today I posted like a today is Friday meme, like that was on my story, and I stay away from stuff like that, like posting about
Oh
my
yeah.
opinion on like sports. This is my platform to talk about this stuff, but I refrain from doing it on my socials because if I want a better job, I have to stay out of it. Because if someone sees me posting about the election or someone sees me posting about what I think about Justin Tucker is a god, stuff like that. If I post about that, people are going to be coming after me. I don't need that. We don't need that negativity.
Yeah, because my thing is like if I'm gonna just say politics for the politicians, it's not that hard. Say
Yeah.
like I don't. That's why I don't really like to talk about politics with anyone, especially. Because I was like, if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not gonna talk about it. Because like whenever it comes to politics, I have like less knowledge about it because like the laws keep on changing. So it's kind of like, well, like I'm not gonna go back and forth with someone that like knows more politics than me. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like defeats the purpose, and like so like I'm just like have let them do them, and
Mm-hmm.
let me do me, because what I'm doing right now with this podcast and especially with my job, of course, I'm not gonna like pretty much like put that in jeopardy if I say some like voice my opinion about like politics. So it's not
Yeah.
like
Exactly. And yeah, that's just how it is. And so, moving on from that, the AFC NFC Championship games were concluded. The day this is coming out. Um, Mahomes and Eagles are getting a rematch of 2022, I believe, is what they played.
that
And
wasn't the
so,
People's Super Bowl.
no, it
That
wasn't.
wasn't
But the thing about when do the people ever get their Super Bowl? Never.
the people. Okay, you know I'm gonna say it. The People's Super Bowl would have been Detroit and Baltimore Super Bowl, hands down.
Yes. I think the first Kansas City Eagles matchup, you could have saw that as a People's Super Bowl because that game, because I don't truly, unless the Vikings are in the Super Bowl, I don't care who's in. I just care if it's a good game.
Yep, that's true. Cause I know, cause last year that was a good game. Last year's Super Bowl, Kansas City and San Francisco, that was a really good game. Just if Greenlaw didn't tear his Achilles, they probably would. San Francisco probably would have won.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest, and
Yeah.
that's like because the way San Francisco's defense was with Greenlaw, that's like a whole different animal. Because Fred
Yeah.
Warner, he could do so much.
Yes.
And like they were like giving like Pat Mahomes trouble, and then as soon as Green down, and that's what everyone was saying, like, oh, like this is Kansas City's like, oh, like the black magic, they done it again. Like they always get lucky come playoff time. Like, well, that's it. It was so unfortunate seeing Greenlaw go down like that. I was
I know.
like,
You saw the clip of Fred Warner going, no,
oh yeah, because like he was like one of their
no.
best like defensive players, not of like probably like the best defensive player like on the field.
Yeah. That was rough to watch. I mean but hey, they struggled this year, unfortunately. But
Oh yeah,
with
just injuries after
yeah,
injuries.
with the
But as a
rematch,
Cowboy fan,
yeah, with the rematch, we are getting Eagles Chiefs 2, Electric Boogaloo. Um,
that'd be a better Super Bowl than what we had with them. I know it was a really good Super Bowl 2 years ago with Philly and KC, but this one, both teams are better. They
I
come
would
first
argue
thing.
that the Chiefs are actually not as good as they once were because again, obviously you lose Tyreek Hill. Xavier Worthy's kind of like that he's no Tyreek, don't get me wrong, but he's as close as you're gonna get to him being on that team, but they don't have like as long if they could stop if the Eagles defense can stop Pacheco from angry running and they can kind of shut down the passing game, they got to pressure Mahomes. You got to keep him in the pocket because when he runs, he's gonna I call it slide baiting. So what he
Oh
always
yeah,
he does
that's what people don't like him that much anymore. Because he
because
always trying to like
he
slide. He's
slides
like,
at the
"What?"
yeah he slides right when the defender's coming to tackle him.
And like
So
what's crazy, Jalen Hurts and Pat Mahomes. I mean, like, okay, so Pat Mahomes, way better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but they had the same flaw. Let them like make them a pocket passer. Don't let them scramble out. Keep them in the
yeah
pocket. Make sure you linebackers take care of Kelsey, or the strong safety take care of Kelsey. The DBs take care of like Worthy. Same other way around. If the defense on both ends take do their jobs and take care of their assignments, it's going to be a really good defensive game. Even though
yeah
Philadelphia is not known for their defense this year, mainly
no
because of their offense and Saquon.
yeah Saquon I think if the Chiefs can shut down Saquon, they might have a chance. But then again, that's what I think that the Eagles are going to do is they're going to assume, hey, the Chiefs are going to they're like Spagnuolo is going to plan his defense mainly around stopping Saquon. So you need to come up with a
Yeah,
better plan that can use Saquon, but also push him towards winning, essentially.
because like I said before, to beat Philadelphia, we got KC has to make Jalen Hurts a pocket passer. You gotta let the man pass. Because like he's a good passer. And don't like no like I'm not gonna discredit him, but to beat Philly, you gotta make Jalen Hurts pass the ball. You don't let
Yes.
him get out of the pocket. Because if you get out of the pocket, oh like it's gonna be really hard to tackle him because like he has strong legs.
Yeah.
You can't really like take him like you can't take him down like that. You gotta tackle him from his lower body.
Yep.
And then make sure the cornerbacks do their job to stop Devontae and AJ, and then the linebackers take care of Dallas Goddard. So that's my thing. That's like is everyone has each player on the team for KC and Philadelphia. They gotta do their role. So it's like because there's no like margin for error when it comes to the
No.
Super Bowl. This is got you gotta play the perfect game for the perfect game for the game
Yeah.
for the biggest game of the year.
Yes, and I looked at so we had original episode that we aired that talked about this. We had technical difficulties, so that's why we're kind of reshooting this in a way. But I looked at Josh Allen's contract. He's signed till 2036. No, 2030, I should say.
2030.
When he is
Okay, I'm about to say 2036. Good lord.
when he's 33. So
Josh
he
Allen, 33.
yeah, he'll be 33 when his contract expires.
Oh, okay. I was about to say like, oh,
But this next season, 2026, he has an opt-out clause. And if he opts out, he gets paid, I think, 161 million guaranteed, and then the dead cap for the Bills is 54 million. So if Allen this upcoming season for the Bills, yes, they got eliminated. Yes, they're in Cabo right now. They need Allen needs to like look at his team and go, can I win with this team and this coach? Because if they falter once again, and I'm Josh Allen, I'm thinking, are they going to give me the best shot to win? And if not, you got to leave, dude. Like, I understand you love Buffalo. I understand you love the city, but look at what happened with Jim Kelly. That dude went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all 4. And eventually he got tired of it and tried to. I mean, I think I shouldn't say that. I think he retired as a Bill, but man, it's just
it's like one of those things like it's way easier to go to the Super Bowl through the NFC than the AFC because we all know the AFC is going to be going through KC, and that's like for sure. And that's probably I'm going to say that probably in the next 5 to 10 years.
yeah.
Or until like Mahomes, like either like Mahomes like retires early, or unless like something like God forbid any injuries happen. The
Yeah.
AFC is going to be running through KC, and that's why like names like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, all like the top like Joe Burrow. Well, Joe Burrow got lucky that one year, but for example, my thing is all those are like top 5 quarterbacks that I just worded like that I just said right now. They're
Mhm.
not gonna be probably not gonna make it to the Super Bowl every year. They had the talent to, but they had to go through KC
Mhm.
and Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's how dangerous KC is. This is one of those things where like you got to beat the best to be the best. And that's what Josh Allen said in his post game conference.
Yeah.
To be the
So,
best, you got to beat the best, and they didn't.
yeah, so with that, you have the Pro Bowl was last night. I didn't really watch it, didn't really care to watch
I
it.
didn't even
Just
watch it either.
Sam Darnold did good apparently in the skills competition, obviously, but he's not going to get paid by the things. The Vikings are going to have JJ McCarthy, and their backup's going to be Daniel Jones, so that's going to be a rough season. But we said the same thing. We said the same thing when we got Sam Darnold. So I don't know. Maybe he'll do good.
Speaking of Sam Darnold, I saw him do really good in the passing competition, and I was like, and everyone on Twitter on X were saying like, oh, where was this on the playoff game? Like, where was this at, man?
but everyone is so dumb on there because they're like, oh, where was this? It's like, dude, he wasn't facing any blitz, so that's why he was good. If you were to blitz him, yeah, maybe he'd crap himself
You
like
know,
he does
that's
every
that's
time.
like my thing. I was like,
All right,
I
so
don't
then
know.
with that, there are some awards that will be presented at the end of the season. One I'm going to be interested in looking at is Coach of the Year, and the nominees for that are Dan Campbell, obviously, Andy Reid, Dan Quinn, Kevin O'Connell. Now, who do
Dan
I
Quinn.
think should get it? Either I would go Dan Quinn, but my second favorite would be Kevin O'Connell for doing the horrible offseason that the Vikings had, losing some big players, and then having to come in and take a roster that really nobody thought would do good, and then make them as good as they are.
Yeah. And then my
So
thing is
I don't know. I would go Kevin O'Connell. I would just pick him because
Kevin
you
O'Connell.
know.
No, Dan Quinn, dude.
I
Dan
know, I
Quinn.
know, I know.
Dan Quinn for sure.
But they don't take
Coach
with coach of the year. They don't take playoffs into account. They just take regular season.
They went 12-5.
The Vikings went
12
14-3.
5. From 4-13 to 12-5, big jump.
Yeah.
And I gotta give props to Jaden Daniels, who should be the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL. Because Jaden Daniels is.
He might have actually already won. Kevin O'Connell of the Vikings is the Sporting News 2024 Coach of the Year, and quarterback Sam Darnold is the publication's Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, that don't count. It's not the NFL. That don't count. Because I
Both
saw.
awards but both awards are peer selected. More than 800 players of the NFL voted this year.
Really? Huh.
So I guess it's a publication. It's a Sporting News publication, but it's not like the
main.
I don't know if it's like the Associated Press.
Okay, because my thing is, I was like, they had like the NFL like awards show is not even on yet. This is like.
No, I know. And I don't know if you can see this, but the odds on DraftKings have Kevin O'Connell at 88% probability of winning it, Dan Campbell at 20%, Sean Payton at 3.85%, and then Dan Quinn plus 4,000 at 2.44%. So,
but my thing is, it should go to Dan Quinn for sure. Dan Quinn should win. He deserves it. But hey, after the years as a defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, he does deserve it. Even though he kind of did us dirty last year against Green Bay whenever he changed our scheme to a zone defense instead of a man. But that's a different conversation for another day. Because I don't really want to talk about them Cowboys up in Dallas or Arlington. Because I really want to go to Frisco and smack some sense into Jerry. But
get in line, pal.
I know. I don't know. Because, like, but
number.
Because the NFC East is going to be strong. Because Philly, Washington, and Cowboys, depending on how good we are. Mm-hmm. And then we got the Giants, who I don't know. Because who knows?
The Giants need to draft. The Giants need to draft a quarterback for sure.
For sure, we just don't know who though.
I could see them getting Milroe.
You know what? That might not be a good. That might be a solid pick.
But we all know they're probably going to pick. We all know they're probably going to pick Sanders. Let's be honest.
But hey, it might work out. Who knows? It might work out.
So Trey, remember when we finished last episode? That we had to reshoot now. But remember when I flexed on you with my rings? Remember that? Remember how I flexed on you with that? Yeah, okay. So I also wanted to flex not only my rings on you, but my oh god, I almost dropped it. But my MVP from the baseball state championships. You can't. Wow, I like how it blurs that out. That's awesome. My state championship MVP plaque that I got.
Okay, let me just go to my trophies right there. You see that right there? All my trophies.
That's all you have?
I got all my medals. Hey, I got so much.
Hey, don't start this with me, Trey. I'll beat you.
Hey, all I'm saying is, hey, we've been going at this for a long time. Long time.
We can go band for band.
Band for band? But hey.
Look at this. I have 2 gold medals. Oh, no, that's a silver medal. Sorry. I have a gold medal in hockey. And I have a silver medal, but I don't like. But oh, I have the funniest. I do actually have the funniest medal. One, I have a chess medal that I won in like elementary school that I won like for 8th place. I don't keep it, but my mom keeps it. It's kind of funny because I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm a failure. I hate chess. I sucked at chess. I hate chess. Ugh.
But I need to
win more trophies.
And guess what? You know what's crazy? You see these trophies?
Yeah.
What? You know who's not going to see any trophies anytime soon?
You.
See that?
And the Well, yeah, you and the Cowboys are not going to see any trophies anytime soon.
That's Cowboys right there. Because even though overtime, at first glance, Brian Schottenheimer, whenever I got the notification from ESPN, Adam Schefter said the Cowboys agreed to sign Brian Schottenheimer as the new head coach.
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings, but
Now you're excited?
I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic.
Dude,
Because
he's a puppet for Jerry. We all know this. He's not gonna do anything. He's not gonna lead him
what was
anywhere.
crazy? You know what they said on the ticket? They said, I don't. Hopefully, Schottenheimer doesn't get screwed over. He might get screwed over. It's gonna suck. Because my thing is, because Schottenheimer he hired Matt Eberflus, the old Chicago Bears head coach, as their new defensive coordinator, and Nick Sorensen as our new special teams coordinator. Two good hires off the rip. And we signed a really good offensive line coach who's going to fix the line and the way our scheme is. And in his opening press conference, Schottenheimer said, "We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to go tempo, and we're going to do play action, and Dak's going to run." And that's how it is. If we do that and Dak runs the ball, Dallas is going to be successful like what they were last year in the regular season. That's how it is. You can do this all you want. You can like say like, "Oh my god, like why? It is. Dak
Who's your running back?
is
Who's gonna run for you?
once we get Donald. Once we get like we signed a really good offensive line coach, like not like yesterday. We're working on getting a good offensive line coach. Matthew.
You're not gonna win anything. You're gonna get bounced in the first round, or you're not gonna make the playoffs. Rico Dowdle is not the answer. You need a better running back because Rico Dowdle, he's only good as a skill running back. He can only find the gap when it's open, like wide open. He can't go through the small margins. Watch any film he did. He couldn't do it. He got busted every time.
That's why we're going to get Ginty from Boise State to help us
You
out.
better. If you don't get him, oh my God, you're screwed.
Hey, hear me out. Stay with me. Because if we get Ginty and Donald on the same team, they can share the amount of carries that they do. They can just split the load of carries. Donald gets some of the carries, then Ginty gets the other carries. And like Donald can get like for goal line, Donald can like just hit that hole. And then
sorry to cut you off, but the draft order is Titans are first, got the first pick, everyone knows this. Then Browns, Giants, Patriots, Jaguars, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, Bears. Bears got the 10th overall pick. Right now they have Gentry. Surprisingly enough, they have Gentry going to the Saints at 9 or the Panthers at 8.
Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Is it Ginty or Gentry?
Gentry.
Gentry. Okay.
And then so the mock draft, obviously, Cam Ward. They have Cam Ward going first to the Titans. Then they have Shadur Sanders going second to the Browns, and then Travis Hunter 3 to the Giants.
If he goes to the Giants, like it ain't gonna help much.
No, it's not.
If he goes to who's the second overall pick? Who has the second overall pick?
Cleveland.
Oh God.
Well, dude, so it actually gets worse. So so NFL released their mock draft, right? Through like their analysts, like everyone. So they say the first pick for the Titans is going to be Abdul Carter, edge from Penn State, which that would help the Titans, honestly. I mean, they need edge. Second, Travis Hunter, Cleveland Browns.
Oh, poor kid.
And then third pick would be Cam Ward to the Giants.
Fourth
to the Patriots will be Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan.
You know what? That's actually a solid pick.
The Jaguars picked Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end senior, so he's a tight end at 5. But they, this is just because they don't have a GM right now. They need a passing option for Allen or for Lawrence.
Okay.
And then
All
number
right.
6, Las Vegas Raiders, Ashton Genty to the Las Vegas Raiders because Pete Carroll, needs. And then the New York Jets at 7 take Shedeur Sanders. So it doesn't look good. So wait, I'm just gonna scroll down and just see who
Scroll down. Just stab me in the side. Kick me when I'm down. Like the
So let's
Cowboys
see
have
who
been
the
doing my whole life.
let's see who the Cowboys will pick at number 12 because they have the 12th pick. This might not give. Here's what they said. This might not get Cowboys fans jazzed, but Dallas could have to move forward. The team has enjoyed success finding the draft replacements. So Tyler Booker, offensive guard, junior from Alabama, at 12 for the Cowboys.
You can always get a guard in second, third round. Why waste the first round pick for a guard?
Because you might lose Zach Martin.
He old anyway.
Or you could get, I would say, or if not 12, you should get Kelvin Banks Jr., that offensive lineman from Texas. He's pretty good.
Okay. If Gentry's off the board. Oh, that aggravated me. If Gentry's off the board, we had to get a lot offensive lineman. Then second or third round, for sure get a wide receiver.
Or get a wide receiver first round, then get offensive lineup because there's some deep offensive linemen because there is that one guy from Texas, Matthew Golden, who will be available, who's projected to go 19th to the Buccaneers. But the top wide receiver that's supposed to go earlier would be he's a safety. Safety would be I'm gonna pronounce this right. Teddario McMillan, Arizona wide receiver junior. Or Teddaroa, I should say. So he would be the first wide receiver off the board if you don't count Travis Hunter, who is a wide receiver. So Travis Hunter, obviously the first wide receiver / cornerback off the board.
And Travis Hunter is gonna do good in the pros, and he might actually do like double duty, unless like the head coach for Cleveland says like, hey, if he does get drafted to Cleveland, or any other NFL coaches say like, hey, you got to pick one.
I want to see what. Okay, so Ashton Genty goes to the Raiders, but this one, they say they're going to give him to the coach he was meant to play for, which is Pete Carroll. That's what it says on here.
Why?
You could trade up for him.
We could, but it's going to cost someone. It's going to cost someone unless
give him the 12th. Give him the 12th. What's up?
I saw something. I was thinking of something because everyone wants to see CD with. Oh, let's get him a sidekick, or not a sidekick, or like a 1A 1B type of wide receiver. Since you said the Jets, if you want the Cowboys to trade up, hey, we'll give you some first or second round picks. We also get Garrett Wilson, who's his voice been heard in the Jets organization that he's not happy. He wants to get out.
Yes.
If we can trade up and get Garrett Wilson, or if anything, if we can trade for Garrett Wilson to get and for him to become a Cowboy, that fixes our wide receiver problem. And then now we can focus on our offensive line and the running back situation. If Genty does actually go to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. I would say you could honestly do this trade, and this might work. You give up the 12th, a second round pick, and you give up Turpin for the 6th.
No, not Turpin. Oh, he's the best. He's probably one of our best punt and kick returners like in our history, as far as I remember.
Yes,
Like,
but you have to give something. You can't just give up. If you don't want to give up a lot of picks, you have to give up a player, and he's really the only player that I can see with any value that the Raiders would want.
okay.
I mean, that's
go
just
out
me.
like yellow.
So I want to know where Cam Scatabo is projected to go. Because I'm actually really interested in this. Because he's not projected to go anywhere in the first round, unfortunately. So the Cam Scatabo is projected. He's a running back from Arizona. So his I'll just read his scouting report. The negatives: slightly older than your typical prospect and will be 23 on draft day. Scatabo accumulated a decent amount of tread in school. His physical and competitive style could raise long-term durability concerns. Doesn't have a ton of burst or long speed. Could struggle consistently to win the edge at the next level and probably end up being more of a chunk play generator than a home run hitter. And then they said, has some tendencies to play with lack of discipline with some inefficient movements. Ball security isn't bad, but hasn't been quite as good as many of the other top prospects.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So they have him going in the third round, late third round, early fourth. And so he's already said that he's claimed that whoever takes him, he will be the best running back to come out of the draft. But sure.
Sure, man, sure.
Did you not see the concussion you got when you tried to run through everybody? And then also like I mean,
I don't know, man.
I think he's just too cocky. That's what I don't like about some players like that. He's just too cocky. He gives me Ryan Leaf vibes.
Yep, and like, of course, you gotta be your best advocate. Like, hey, you gotta promote yourself. But there's a difference between being like an advocate for yourself, like, oh, I'm this good, but being like cocky, you gotta back that talk back. You gotta back up that talk, because it's like one of those things where if you don't back it up, everyone's gonna look at you and laugh.
Yes.
It's like
why do you think everybody
real.
clowns? Yeah, why do you think everybody clowns on Scooter Magruder every year? Because he always talks big game and then never backs it up, and then everybody clowns him.
We Scooter out of this.
And then I saw the tweet from I think it was Michael Irving that said, if this is all we can do for our all-in push, this is not the team I played for. I was just like, dude, ooh.
Oh no, he was going off. Like if Troy Aikman said something that you like. Yeah. Troy Aikman said something. Michael Irvin said something. It's just straight up like bad, dude. Like it hasn't been this bad because it.
To me though, it kind of goes back to if I were to compare it to any sort of like owner / hate towards an owner, or I guess GM, would be when the Bulls didn't like Jerry Krause, like Jordan, Pippen, they hated Krause. Same thing, like the former players hate the GM.
And what's crazy, remember they were doing a little ceremony for him, and they booed his wife. Like those. That's why I was like, everyone on Twitter or X were saying like, whoa, don't get the wife into this, like. And she was like crying.
I don't get why people. I don't get why people booed Jerry Krause. I understand he wasn't the best people person. He said some things in the media. If you watch the Last Dance documentary, he said some things like organizations as a whole win championships, and that made Michael Jordan mad. But to me, if it wasn't for him and putting that roster together, they don't win the 6 championships. They really don't.
Don't.
He's the one that traded away Charles Oakley to bring in a Bill Cartwright, brought in a better player. He's the one that brought in Dennis Rodman. He's the one. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was exactly him. Obviously, it was more Phil Jackson, that had a play in that. But he brings in Steve Kerr, who's one of the most automatic shooters. Brought in who else? He brought in Tony Kukoc, who was
Ron Harper was there.
Ron Harper. Yes, thank you. So without him and his scouting, you don't win 6 championships. And I don't care what Michael and Scotty say.
Yep.
You have to give him his flowers. You can't just hate on him for the rest of it. And rest in peace to him. But you just can't do that, man.
I lost some respect for Chicago fans that day.
I did too.
A lot. It was bad.
And I lost. I know. And Michael Jordan's one of those celebrity athletes that I think is untouchable, because so many people love him. So no matter what he does, people are always going to love him. So like, and as a basketball player, to me, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time as a basketball player. I will not listen. LeBron does not. I like LeBron, but LeBron's a 2 to me because of what Jordan. You could say like, could Jordan? They're always like, oh, Jordan couldn't play in LeBron's era. Actually, he could, because there's not as much good defense as there was back then. Now it's. No, I know you're about to get mad because you want LeBron to be the GOAT, but I mean, Jordan is what in the finals? 6 and what? Oh,
that's the only. You have to play against super teams.
Yeah, and then no. He lost to NBA. He went and go form his own super team. LeBron left to go form his own super team instead of trusting the process. The only guy that I can say that's truly not been on a super team that has won a championship legitimately in the last 5 years has been Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks when they won the championship, because that was not a super team.
Yeah, because they had good role players.
Yes, but they didn't have a clear number 2 superstar.
Three good players.
Yeah, he didn't have a clear number.
Giannis,
he didn't have a clear co-star.
Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday. And Brook Lopez, he was at the tail end of his career at the time.
So
he wasn't the same Brook Lopez, but yeah.
I understand you can make the argument for LeBron being the GOAT, but I will always say, if I were to have a number 1 debate, if they were to go one-on-one, like truly, if you would put LeBron and Jordan in their prime, I do think Jordan beats him, because Jordan gets so mad that when he loses, that he's got to play again and he's got to beat you again. Like,
okay,
I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't have that mentality, but it's not the same.
2018 LeBron, most likely, probably his best version of himself. You can make an argument of 2013 LeBron. That was probably the most complete version of LeBron. But as like athlete wise, but as a basketball player, that was 2018 LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably like the most like. God, I'm so pissed. I'm so aggravated at J.R. Smith. Cleveland should have won that game, but LeBron that year in 2018 pretty much like carried. That was pretty much like a carry job, because that wasn't a good team at all. It was pretty much like LeBron and K-Love, and that's it, and a bunch of role players, and they somehow made it to the finals. That's what pretty much showed like LeBron can do that at his age. And that pretty much like what made him the GOAT for me. The key part for me was in 2016 whenever he came back from 3-1 against Golden State, pretty much like the best team in NBA history record wise, 7-3-9. With like defied all odds, going down 3-1 and beating them in Oracle, and at the time Oracle Arena in Golden State. You can't really beat them, and play in playoffs. Tough place to be, and especially tough team to beat in an elimination game. But hey, they came on top, and that's what made like LeBron the GOAT to me.
Yes, and I can understand the argument. I do, and that's why whenever when someone says who's the GOAT, you can never really answer that question. I would say the best player of the '90s is Michael Jordan. The best player of the 2000s is LeBron. Granted, Jordan did
Oh,
play in 2003.
okay. So whenever if
2010s.
you think
Let's
about
say
two
LeBron
thousands,
2010s.
2000s, 2010s, that's less LeBron. 2000s, I gotta give it to either Shaq or Kobe.
I think a lot of people forget about Tim Duncan too.
And yeah, those three. Those are like interchangeable for me. And don't feel, I'm not gonna like. I know I'm a Dallas fan, but I'm not gonna like Dirk. Like Dirk was there too, and Nash. So it was like
Mm,
one of those like all of them were in the mix.
yeah.
Like as like the top player. I thought like at the end of the 2000s, it was Kobe, hands down, was better in the league. And then that's when LeBron started like, oh, his up and coming star, like MVPs. But in 2000s, I gotta give it to Kobe. But 90s was MJ. 2000s was Kobe. The 2010s were LeBron, and then the 2020s that's up in the air because we don't.
Mm.
I can get probably Jokic now, but yeah,
So the Associated Press, and the Bleacher Report surveyed all 133 general managers, owners, players, as well as talking to current players and current um, executives. So all told, they surveyed 1,500 people, and they had a vote as a poll: who is the greatest player of all time? And Michael Jordan beat LeBron James by, guess how many votes he beat him by?
how many?
Beat him by 12. 12 votes. He beat him. And they said the main factor was not the championships. They said it
You
was
know
the
what?
defensive. It was the defensive players of the year.
You know what? After this, whenever we're done with this, I'm gonna put a poll out on my Instagram. See like who's the basketball goat, LeBron or MJ? And then let's just see what people have to say. Let's just see. I'm kind of interested.
In terms of longevity, I would give it to LeBron because he's played longer than Jordan has. Granted, Jordan kept coming out of retirement, which is weird. Um,
But that being said, but
and with that being said, we will end the video.
wait, we got
Oh
one
yeah,
last
sorry,
thing.
excuse me. Yeah, so last
One
thing,
last thing.
Trey, we will have on StreamYard. We will have a special guest. I'll let Trey talk about that before I get ahead of myself. Trey, take it away.
All right. So guys, um, we're gonna be adding another person to our Sports Ramble podcast crew, and he's a really good friend of mine, and he's my church buddy, and his name is and it's my friend Garrett, who's up at University of North Texas, where me and Matthew we graduated from, and he's really cool, and I'm so excited. He's excited, and I'm gonna be so excited for y'all to meet him.
Yeah,
And of
I'm
course,
I'm excited.
next week is gonna be his tryout. I'm gonna be joking with him, so like, and boom, he's gonna sign his little contract, his multi-year deal with us. So like,
We're
it's
gonna have a
part.
we're gonna have a we're gonna have an owners meeting, decide if we want to give him a contract or not. So next week will be his debut, and so we'll kind of determine if we want to bring him back. If enough people kind of like him, or we like him. It's kind of what the people want, and so we're gonna try him out and see if we like him. And I'm excited to see him because he knows his stuff, and it's kind of what we
Yeah,
want. We want someone that knows his stuff. If I bring someone on that doesn't know anything,
we
it
gonna be
kind of,
gone.
yeah, you gone. You, look, oh,
But
look
yeah,
at that. What's that? It's the door. Use it.
yeah,
But yeah,
he's gonna
so
be a really good asset for us. Y'all gonna enjoy him. We're gonna enjoy him. It's gonna be really awesome. Really great
yeah, man.
experience.
Yeah, I'm excited. So next week we'll see him. So that will probably come out. I probably before the Super Bowl. We'll have an
Most
episode.
likely before the Super Bowl, we're gonna have our little episode.
And then we'll
most
have an
likely,
episode after the Super Bowl. So we'll recap the
yes.
Super Bowl.
If anything,
Oh,
be prepared for our live.
yes, we
Because
will go live.
we will go live. Be prepared, everyone. We're going live.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thanks
Do it
sucks.
live.
We'll do it live. Sucks.
But yeah, before we go, we gotta get a prediction for the Super Bowl. I know it's next week. We're probably gonna do it again.
We will.
But right, I got Kansas City winning and going for a 3-peat. What about you?
I do like Spagnola's defense, but I don't think they're gonna have an answer for Saquon, because I've seen games where it's like the guy's got him dead to rights and it's just so hard to tackle him. So I'm gonna go Eagles over Kansas City. The score, I'm gonna say it's 28-27. So that's gonna be my prediction. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game because the defense. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. It's either going to be a 1 or 3 point difference because, again, you have to. It's going to be interesting. But I did see, though, State Farm did pull a lot of their ads from the Super Bowl. Actually, a lot of the insurance companies did due to the California wildfires. Don't think we forgot about you guys, though. Hopefully everything gets settled out there and you guys clear all those fires out quickly, because the last thing you want is a whole state burned to the ground. So, yeah, so I expect more companies like that to pull their ads from this, because again, you saw the reason. So real quick before we go, the reason for the pulling of the ads mainly has to do with the fact that a lot of the insurance providers pulled their insurance coverages for fire damage, and so they don't want to air an ad because it looks bad and they'll get flack for that because they're spending money just to play the ad. Yeah, but with that is all for us today. A bit of a longer episode today, 46 minutes, but. For Trey Williams, my name is Matthew Wagner. We will see you guys next week on the Sports Ramble Podcast with our new guest, Garrett, and we will go live next week. So we won't go anywhere. We'll see you next time.
Don't miss out. All right.